There's a pain that doesn't come from what others do to you, but from what you do to yourself. Carl Jung saw the quiet devastation of self-betrayal, the moments you say yes when everything in you means no, the way you soften your voice to be palatable, the way you abandon your truth just to be loved. Over time, these small betrayals pile up until you barely recognize what you truly feel. Emotions snarl, the body tightens, the mind spins, and in that chaos lives a message, not of failure, but of misalignment. Healing begins not with striving, but with listening. Beneath the noise, your original voice still speaks, still waits, and the moment you turn toward it, the unraveling begins to reverse. Slowly, gently, like remembering something you were never meant to forget. Let us embark on a quiet voyage inward, where lies a subtle rift, often concealed beneath the layers we craft to navigate this world. This divide is not tangible, but rather a whisper of compromise we make for acceptance, safety, or love. It is here that Carl Jung's insights into self-betrayal find their roots, a journey into the heart of emotional chaos. As we tread softly into the nuances of this internal split, let us do so with a spirit open to rediscovery, seeking not new pieces, but those forgotten fragments of ourselves awaiting exposure to the gentle light of understanding. In this sacred exploration, patience and vulnerability become our allies as we face the parts we've long concealed. Within this confrontation blooms the possibility of profound healing and transformation. This inner split is less a malady and more a clarion call to deeper self-awareness. Through Jungian shadow work, we shed light on our psyche's hidden facets, finding within the stillness a space to reconcile and heal. It is here amidst the quiet of reflection that the seeds of resilience and inner harmony are sown, sprouting as we journey toward wholeness. The genesis of our inner conflict takes root quietly, shaped by the world around us before we are conscious of its presence. In our early years, the identity we form is often a reflection of others' expectations and fears. Family, society, culture, all play their part, and we, in turn, begin to change, not deliberately, but in a bid to survive. Jung posited that our personas emerge not only from necessity, but from the roles required to harmonize externally, often suppressing our true nature. This necessity, albeit natural, sets the stage for internal conflict, whispering of a chasm growing silently within. As we grow, these whispers transform into an inner dialogue, a presence that calls us out, reminding that parts of us lay ignored. Each day becomes a dance between perceived selves and inherent truths, creating a dissonance suggesting something vital is amiss. It is within this chaos that we find the root, the silent battle not with the world, but within ourselves. This odyssey invites us to uncover truth, the truth of who we are beyond the masks we wear to navigate life. Yet psychological adaptation exacts its toll. The quest to fit molds not our own erodes our authenticity. While adaptation serves survival, continuous detachment from our core identity bewilders us, sowing seeds of unrest. This cost veiled beneath stress or dissatisfaction obscures the initial fissure within. Over time, as this gap widens, neglected aspects arise, manifesting as stress, anxiety, or an elusive longing. Like pressure pushing hidden springs to the surface, our inner being demands reconciliation, urging a path back to our true selves. Embracing this tension, we embrace growth, recognizing the essential journey to integration and wholeness, using chaos as a gentle guide to authentic living. Society, with its directives and dicta, fashions our personas from birth. we are bombarded with messages defining success, acceptance, and value. These scripts dictate a communal life navigation, but adhering too closely disguises our essence. Jung viewed the persona as both necessary and superficial, obstructing self-realization. Crafting personas to fulfill societal expectations only furthers the inner divide we yearn to mend. Acknowledging these masks' constructed nature is paramount, inviting us to question internalized tales and reclaim values reflective of our truths. It is here, in peeling back layers of borrowed identities, that we liberate the authentic self yearning to emerge. Signs of inner betrayal gently pervade, manifesting as dissatisfaction, anxiety, or a pervasive sense of misalignment. This chaos acts as a siren call to pay heed to neglected or denied parts of ourselves, drawing us into cycles contradicting our true essence. Jungian shadow work illuminates these disowned traits and desires, encouraging a path to reconciliation. This recognition marks the first step in unraveling emotional chaos, demanding introspection and honesty as we confront uncomfortable truths about disowned and compromised selves. Consider these not failures, but opportunities for transformative growth. A gentle release from judgment towards courageously reclaiming lost parts in our quest for acceptance or survival. Healing begins with integration, reconciling parts of ourselves long cast aside. Jung emphasized the necessity of bringing the unconscious into the conscious, closing the gap between mask and truth. Integration respects our inherent contradictions, evolving through mindful intention as we seek coherence between exterior and interior lives. Acceptance stands as integration's cornerstone, acknowledging our shadows without judgment. We embrace disowned traits, weaving them back into our identity's tapestry. This journey is one from fragmentation to wholeness, a return to harmonious existence where emotional chaos yields to clarity and purpose. Authenticity, the gentle beacon of healing the split, illuminates our path back to self-integrity. Liberating ourselves from conditioning layers allows true expression. Carl Rogers championed authenticity's necessity for psychological health, advocating for life aligned with core values. This requires redefining relationships, aspirations, and lives to resonate with inner truth. Embracing our nature uncovers resilience that quells the divided self's chaos. Our journey shifts to one of creation, crafting lives reflecting our fullness, where authenticity guides us to belonging and peace. Our journey deep within the split within is one toward unity and wholeness, mending the relationships with our fragmented selves. This chapter illuminates the roots of chaos and self-betrayal's toll on our psyche. In considering Jung's wisdom with modern insights, we've begun unraveling complexities of our inner divide. Though challenging, this approach lays groundwork for profound transformation, empowering us to reclaim wholeness and authenticity. As we venture forth, let us carry the understanding that healing is an ongoing journey, where each step draws us closer to our essential selves. It is the courage to face our split that builds our resilience to transcend it, guiding us toward a life steeped in clarity, purpose, and peace. We betray ourselves. In the quiet recesses of our minds, where the echoes of the day settle like whispered confessions, we often encounter a subtle discord between our outer actions and the silent yearnings of our souls. This is the realm where self-betrayal weaves its delicate web, a gentle seduction cloaked in the guise of politeness, conformity, and the false mirage of necessity. Each time we choose comfort over conviction, or safety over sincerity, These small transgressions accumulate, gently eroding the bedrock of our inner truth, like droplets imperceptibly wearing down stone. They manifest as our rituals of nodding in agreement when our heart screams dissent, or laughing lightly when sorrow gnaws at the edges of our smile. These quiet compromises, while seemingly benign, begin to chip away at the essence of who we are, casting shadows on the path to our true selves, obscuring us from our own reflection. These betrayals, though subtle, possess a profound gravity. They emerge in the spaces created by the smiles we give when words fail, when critique wounds deeper than any outward injury, or the silent consent we offer when exhaustion binds our tongues. Instinctively rooted in our ancient need to belong, to be loved, they bind us in a paradox. We betray ourselves for the sake of harmony, yet uncover only isolation and fragmentation. In the teachings of Carl Jung, the journey toward wholeness must begin here, at the threshold of these everyday decisions. To unravel the threads of this self-deception is to embark on a voyage of self-discovery, one that illuminates the ties between these small betrays and the grander tapestry of our emotional and psychological landscape. Life often guides us into a delicate waltz between our innermost truths and the external world's expectations. At the heart of many of our struggles resides a persistent whisper, a silent yes that betrays our inner no. This split carves a divide within us, spiraling into a cycle of self-betrayal, where external allegiance trumps internal conviction. We find ourselves entwined in gatherings devoid of joy, or in conversations where our voice merely echoes the truths of another. Each conciliatory nod becomes not just a whisper of agreement, but a silent betrayal of our own authenticity. These choices craft invisible shackles that constrain our very nature, slowly transforming us from distinct individuals to blurred reflections confused by compromise. The masks we craft shield us, transforming vulnerability into a veil of feigned happiness. These veils, worn to fit the moulds of acceptance, become fortresses within which we hide our true anguish, our tears concealed behind forced laughter. The world sees only the mask, while beneath it, an intense dissonance stirs, a storm within, longing for release. Yet this tug of war between who we are and who we present cannot be sustained without consequence. Over time, this incongruence erodes our sense of self, and true wholeness, an integration of all facets, as Jung would urge, remains elusive. When we neglect our need for expression, substituting authentic feelings with habitual masks, we partake in a muted dance on a stage of silent compromise. These moments, seemingly trivial, ripple outward in widening circles of consequence, each choice a stone cast upon the tranquil waters of our consciousness. Initially unnoticed, these ripples converge into waves, reshaping the very core of our being, each slight and unchallenged notion wearing away the edges of our identity. From the depths of Jungian thought, the unconscious mind strives to awaken us to these betrayals through dreams and restless longings. Simply recognizing them is insufficient. We must unravel their deeper implications, acknowledging how these choices influence the broader narrative of our lives. Their power lies not in frequency, but in our repeated acceptance, seamlessly woven into the everyday until they fade from view. Reclaiming our essence demands courage, a conscious choice to honour truths once neglected. Silently held truths echo within us with undeniable insistence. These are the words we swallow for peace, the dreams deferred to avoid vulnerability. Such silence becomes a wedge. It forges gaps between connection and authenticity, creating spaces filled with assumption and unmet need. Unspoken, these truths amplify, gathering within our subconscious, waiting for acknowledgement. Jungian psychology illuminates the chronic energy demanded in suppressing them, the shadow self whispering reminders of all unvoiced. Only by giving voice to these truths can we dissolve the inner echo, moving closer to self-awareness and alignment. Though it challenges the comfort of silence, this process seeds authenticity, transforming the narrative of self. A profound silence exists beyond spoken word, a silence where our needs remain unvoiced. Often born from learned helplessness or fear of discord, this silence is in itself a betrayal, a withdrawal from the stage of our narrative. In reclaiming our voice, we defy a culture of compliance, daring to narrate a tale anew, closer to the authentic self that waits patiently, shrouded in the quietude of compromise. Reclaiming this space between silence and scream is a deliberate act, pressing us closer to wholeness, aligning the outer expression with inner truth. Each compromise inscribes itself upon the silent pages of an internal ledger, an unyielding account of choices made where authenticity falters. While compromise fosters community, unchecked, it extracts a toll on our psyche. Jung's insights reveal that such sustained abandonment of self hinders individuation, a seamless integration of our multifaceted being, a journey towards true growth. Reclaiming our story requires an honest audit, differentiating necessary concessions from the gravitational pull of self-betrayal, prompting a courageous realignment. This journey, though challenging, promises liberation, a sanctuary where harmony is not traded for superficial peace, but embraced as a reflection of a resolute, genuine self. In the quiet depths of our psychological landscape lies the persona, a concept introduced by Carl Jung that represents the social mask we don in the grand masquerade of life. It's like a costume woven from the threads of expectations and norms, a protective veil that shields our inner sanctuaries from the probing eyes of the world. This mask allows us to glide through the dance of personal, professional, and societal engagements, offering a sense of belonging and acceptance. Yet beneath this veneer we may find the mask becoming heavy and brittle, a facade that strains under the weight of performance. When it eclipses our authentic selves, it becomes not just a tool of connection but a barrier, a silent wall between who we are perceived to be and who we truly are within. This tension is most palpable when the persona begins to grip us too tightly, when the line blurs between the role we play and the essence we hold dear. The dance can turn into a weary struggle as we risk losing touch with our core values and desires, suffocating under the pretense of a life that is not truly ours. Resentment may breed in the shadows, a silent protest against a script that feels foreign, untrue. It is here in this struggle that the seeds of emotional turmoil are sown, a dynamic rich with tension, longing for the reconciliation of outward image and inner truth. In these hushed moments of dissonance, a quiet rebellion simmers deep within the soul, a gentle but insistent whisper growing louder with each ignored call. This is the soul's plea for liberation, for expression unfettered by compliance or pretense. As the persona lays its firm grip, the soul may feel imprisoned, yearning for authenticity, for a life that reflects its true form. Such internal friction may manifest as anxiety, a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction, or in moments that appear as self-sabotage or instability. Yet they contain within them the seeds of transformation, nudging us towards self-discovery and growth. Rather than shrink from these moments of chaos, we are invited to engage with them, exploring the gap they reveal between the mask and the self, stepping boldly into authenticity. The journey towards this authenticity begins with the act of self-reflection, a brave and gentle gaze into the mirror of our inner world. It is a dance of honesty, requiring us to confront and explore the masks we wear and the motives they conceal. Such introspection is akin to holding up a mirror under moonlight, revealing both the persona and the self, the roles we play and the lives we aspire to. This reflection calls for courage and compassion, a willingness to meet our truths with open arms, acknowledging where we have ceded to expectations that overshadow our true inclinations. Through this, we discern the layers of our personas and the outlines of the authentic self yearning to be witnessed. To journey from mask to truth, we must embrace vulnerability, a powerful force wrapped in the guise of fragility. Vulnerability unveils us, shedding the layers of protection to stand in openness, inviting connection from a place of sincerity. It is a testament to the strength that unravels our fears of imperfection, exposing our humanity and letting our truth shimmer in its imperfect grace. This journey demands that we silence the inner critic and trust in our inherent worthiness, that we step into the light without the armour of perfection or control, with the quiet assurance that our authentic selves are holy as they should be. In the shadow cast by our personas lies a tapestry of hidden emotions, disowned desires, and secret fears. These are the shadow aspects of our psyche, fragments that we consign to the darkness to preserve the illusion of the masks we wear. Yet in their concealment, they grow in influence, shaping our emotions and behaviours from the shadows. Jung teaches us that integrating these shadow elements is essential in our quest for individuation, the path to wholeness. By bringing these hidden aspects into the light, we untangle the complexities of our personas, gaining insight into the emotional tensions they create. The process of unmasking begins by listening to the language of emotion, signals that guide us towards a more authentic way of being. The journey requires patience and compassion as we navigate the path between mask and self, unravelling the performance and embracing the truth beneath. Rituals of authenticity, such as meditative journaling and mindful reflection, become the sacred threads weaving our values back into the fabric of our lives. These practices help us recalibrate our perceptions, reaffirming the self beyond the constraints of societal measures. In this transformative journey, we reclaim personal power, the quiet strength that allows us to step beyond the persona and embrace the complexities of our true selves. It is a revolution of self-honesty, a conscious choice to live with courage, embracing the art of authenticity as our guiding light. As we unravel the persona, we step into a world of wholeness, where the mirror no longer reflects a facade, but reveals the luminous tapestry of the soul. It is here, amidst the quiet revolt, we find the essence of our humanity, resonating with the sacred truth of who we are. In a world where stimuli and thoughts swirl endlessly, the body stands as a quiet guardian, holding truths within its every cell. It whispers what the mind often forgets. Its quiet messages born from anxiety, depression, or anger are more than mere symptoms. They are echoes from the core of our being, urging us to listen and heed the calls of our authentic self. In this chapter, allow us to explore the body's intricate language, truths that the conscious mind might sidestep, but which the body reveals openly. Conditioned as we might be to ignore these cues, preferring to suit societal expectations of cheerfulness and stoicism. The body remains steadfast, a vessel of unspoken narratives and whispered truths, waiting for our conscious acknowledgement and understanding. Our journey through these uncharted waters is one of listening, interpreting each signal to uncover the layers beneath our lived experiences, in pursuit of an uncovered authenticity. As anxiety unfurls beneath our skin, it serves as a vigilant sentinel, not an enemy to conquer, but a message longing for our attention. The racing heart and the tight chest are cries for alignment, alarms that beckon us to explore where we've strayed from our intrinsic values. In a world that beckons us with relentless ambition, anxiety emerges when our actions betray our deeper self, guiding us back towards the paths we're meant to tread. Anxiety nudges us to peel back layers of pretense, revealing where conformity or fear might rule our choices instead of genuine desire. Despite the discomfort it unravels within, the journey invites us to grow intimate with our true selves, courageously facing the desires and fears left unsaid. As we loosen our grip on expectations that no longer serve, we invite genuine peace and alignment to blossom. While anxiety thrives on restless energy, depression lies as a profound stillness, a serene disconnect from life's zest. It is not weakness but a signal that we are adrift from the essence of our being. Depression embodies the weight of unlived possibilities and suppressed potential, manifesting as numbness that longs for authenticity's light. Instead of an end, it signals a dormant stage, awaiting rebirth into a life aligned with truth. Acknowledging this heaviness as a guide, we gain insights into the narratives we have unwittingly accepted, where we have adhered to suffocating molds and forsaken nurturing desires. Depression then becomes an invitation to realign, to shed existential burdens and allow long elusive selves to flourish. Within depression's depths lies the slow but certain impetus for personal rebirth, urging the reunification of muted identity with the vibrant yearnings within. Rage, fiery and intense, often stands misunderstood and marginalised, dismissed as mere frustration. Yet beneath the surface, it carries messages from the depths of silenced injustices and unmet needs. It arises when personal boundaries are crossed, when the chasm between true self and portrayed self yawns too wide. By honouring its origins, we reveal silences crying for justice and understanding. Curiosity rather than suppression invites us to explore where rage resides, where long-standing resistance and resentment make their home. This understanding crafts opportunities for healing and renewal. By listening, we transform rage from an onerous presence into a protector, safeguarding our path toward integrity and authenticity. Yet there are those who retreat within the cocoon of numbness, a deceptive shield designed for preservation amid overwhelming turmoil. This absence of feeling, not empty apathy, but a complex form of self-protection against persistent inner conflict, signals the body's refusal to continue absorbing discord. Numbness becomes a quiet defiance against self-betrayal's cumulative weight. Numbness calls for introspection and reminds us to address unmet needs, unfulfilled desires and boundaries unobserved. By pausing, we invite a thawing of the numb soul, engaging in a deliberate process of self-restoration. Through gentle engagement, numbness empowers us to move forward with intentional choices, turning away from being passive witnesses to co-creators of deeply fulfilling lives. Modern psychological thought often emphasizes cognition, but the transformative power of somatic awareness, deep connection to our bodies, tells a different story. Memories line each visceral response and muscle, inviting our attention to the wisdom within. Somatic practices promote presence, allowing us to inhabit both mind and body, honouring instinctual cues and unravelling physical tensions with compassionate awareness. By engaging in mindful movement, breathwork, and body scanning, we cultivate a dialogue within. These practices extend bridges between subconscious tensions and conscious attention, inviting harmony and authenticity. Thus, psychological resilience weaves through our wisdom of the physical self, reshaping our narrative toward wholeness. Embracing embodiment demands life within the physical without ignoring the cues of intuition. When we choose to reside fully within ourselves, we challenge societal scripts that prioritize intellect over embodiment, promising a future of authenticity. Living in tandem with intuition and instinct leads us beyond hidden scripts and repressed truths toward an empowered life of coherence. Within this noisy world, the art of listening emerges as sacred. To truly listen is to tenderly explore the self, pledging attention to the silent stories woven in the body's fibres. More than assessing symptoms, it uncovers narratives ripe with insight, transforming pain into understanding and emotional solidity. By offering such deep listening, we honour not the perfect but the true vessel of the body. We treat its stories as guides rather than adversaries, unleashing the power of awakening and alignment. As we conclude this chapter, let the body remain both guardian and guide, urging constant speech to these whispers of self-betrayal. In choosing to heed this language, we open pathways to clarity, venturing into a space of harmony between mind and body. Emerging from this exploration, we cherish the breath of life's wisdom, trusting the body to guide us from chaos to emotional clarity, an adventure not only of survival, but of unwavering rebirth and transcendence. In the quiet chambers of our inner world, shadows linger, whispering truths we often overlook. The unconscious mind, mysterious and vast, holds desires and fears that evade our conscious grasp, softly urging us toward a genuine existence. This gentle call from within, manifesting as turmoil and unrest, demands sincerity, inspiring us to synchronize our outer selves with the inner voice. The path to uncovering this hidden truth is a journey marked by introspection, requiring us to acknowledge and embrace the shadows we once ignored. Here within this process lies the revelation that emotional chaos, far from being just life's pressure, is an eloquent signal guiding us back to wholeness. Beneath the surface, this call's often misinterpreted, mistaken for anxiety, discontent, or existential dread. We inhabit a world that celebrates outward success and superficial harmony, often neglecting the profound significance of inner discord. Jung suggested that the psyche naturally gravitates toward unity. Thus, any internal conflict signals the psyche's encouragement to return to its natural state. When the unconscious nudges us toward authenticity, it signals the need to confront the inner conflict, unravel the facades, and journey into the depths where our true self resides. By welcoming this internal chaos, rather than resisting it, we find a compass guiding us back to stability and self-truth. The quest for authenticity invites us to dismantle the illusions we've constructed, stories we tell ourselves to conform, to survive, inherited identities passed on through familial lines. These illusions, woven from fear and self-preservation, shield us from vulnerabilities we hesitate to confront. Though protective, these stories veil our genuine desires and fears. To uncover the unconscious demand for truth, we must gently peel away these masks, revealing the authentic self beneath. Such a venture requires courage, for these illusions provide comfort and refuge. Yet beneath their balm, the unconscious stirs, insisting on recognition. Each of us carries an internal compass, an instinct that leads us toward personal truth. This compass manifests in intuitive feelings and dreams, steering us in directions the conscious mind might resist. These signals highlight what's absent or neglected in us, suggesting that genuine alignment comes from heeding these whispers. Trusting this internal guide can be daunting, for it challenges societal norms and personal fears. This instinct, free from the ego's rationalizations, operates from a space of profound knowing. It invites us to pursue paths resonant with our authentic selves, transforming emotional chaos into a coherent narrative. In the world of Jungian psychology, emotional chaos serves not merely as turmoil, but as a profound teacher. Often, it signals the presence of universal archetypes residing in our unconscious: the hero, the shadow, the wise old man, demanding attention and integration. Each archetype offers its distinct wisdom, urging us to delve beneath surface turbulence and rediscovers lost dimensions of self. Recognizing these patterns transforms chaos into a meaningful dialogue with the soul, revealing interconnectedness within our experiences. Central to this journey is the integration of the shadow, that collection of traits we deny or suppress. This shadow contains not only dark elements, but also untapped potential. Jung taught that the shadow becomes destructive only when ignored. When embraced, it transforms into a source of strength and creativity. The shadow presses against our constructed boundaries, seeking recognition. Learning to accept it involves confronting the discomfort of vulnerabilities, interpreting rejected pieces as integral rather than adversarial. In times of inner turmoil, characterized by emotional distress, awaits wisdom, messages prompting change, adaptation, or re-evaluation. Though unsettling, these periods challenge us to align actions and values with what truly matters. Jungian psychology sees chaos as a component of the individuation process, a movement toward harmony and balance. By engaging with such turmoil through reflective practices, we uncover the roots of our discomfort, using insights gained for personal growth. Dreams and symbols serve as the language of the unconscious, offering glimpses into our deepest thoughts. They manifest as narratives from our psyche, providing a roadmap to self-discovery. Jung believed that interpreting these messages builds a bridge between conscious and unconscious, fostering holistic integration. In dreams, seemingly irrational scenarios embody essential truths about authenticity. Interpreting these symbols involves openness to multiple connotations, challenging us to delve beyond the surface. Within this quest for authenticity lies a paradox: vulnerability as strength. Modern views often equate vulnerability with weakness. Yet, Jungian thought regards this openness as a potent avenue for authenticity, enabling us to shed societal masks and forge deeper connections. Acceptance of vulnerability invites a transformation in our relationship with fear, reframing it as a gateway to self-discovery. Through this process, alignment diminishes chaos, closing the gap between the inner and outer selves. Navigating the currents stirred by the unconscious involves cultivating practices that foster internal harmony. Techniques like meditation or visualization center awareness, inviting clarity. By engaging in these practices, we develop discipline that remains steady in emotional fluctuations. Such methods not only reveal unconscious insights, but also equip us with tools to integrate them. Nurturing this connection with inner selves allows the psyche's authenticity demand to manifest naturally. Ultimately, the path to wholeness lies in integrating the disparate aspects, the journey of embracing complexity and unifying facets into coherence. Jungian psychology emphasizes this return to unity, where authenticity thrives and chaos resolves. The journey, not linear but cyclical, requires active engagement in self-awareness, shadow work, and acceptance. Through this endeavor, fragmented identities transform into a cohesive expression, illuminating truth and alignment. In the quiet chambers of our souls, guilt and shame linger like shadows, not as mere indicators of wrongdoing, but as emotional whispers cautioning that we have strayed from our own truth. These feelings, deeply rooted in societal and familial expectations, are complex signals arising from the conflict between who we must be to exist harmoniously with others and who we truly are. Like ancient guardians, they remind us that obedience, a necessary pillar for communal peace, can transform into an antagonist when it stifles the spirit's call for authenticity. As we journey through life's unfolding, obedience initially offers a safe haven, a protective shell during the tender years of psychological development. Yet, with time, this protective guise may become an existential shackle as our inner self diverges from learned behaviours. These emotions, birthed not of ethical failings but of personal conscience, become harbingers of a more profound transformation, inviting us to delve into the shadows for liberation. Consider guilt and shame through the lens of Jung, where they reside as elements of the shadow self, those hidden facets of our psyche tucked away from conscious view. Born from early experiences where acceptance demanded obedience to another's laws, they take root deep within us. These emotions, ingrained in our being, wield an unseen governance over impulses, erecting barriers to our journey toward individuation and self-actualization. At their core, these emotions find sustenance in the soil of society itself. Various cultural frameworks nurture guilt and shame as instruments of conformity, upholding order while risking the individual's inner disillusionment. Though these forces maintain societal norms, if left unrecognized, they foster a rift between our social masks and our true selves, imperiling personal authenticity. Yet understanding these origins becomes a key to the door of personal freedom. The tale unfolds as we witness the self-betrayal that stems from relentless obedience. Here, familiar stories and myths paint the scene, where figures stand at crossroads between societal norms and personal truths. The choice to obey often renders one disjointed, torn from the fabric of their own essence, breeding feelings of anxiety, depression, or resentment, a discord sparked by the sacrifice of one's true self. The psychological toll of sustained obedience is subtle, yet profound, gnawing at self-trust and eroding self-worth. When intuition is consistently muted in favour of external demands, it turns individuals away from their path, leaving them adrift in a sea of emptiness and lost agency. This hollow echoes a primordial cry to reconcile with inner whispers. Such internal disharmony inevitably manifests as anxiety and depression, sending tremors through mental terrain. These states, signifying a neglected or suppressed inner being, rise as alarms urging alignment. It is here that guilt and shame wield their insidious power, locking individuals in cycles of despair and unrest. Recognizing these emotions can illuminate pathways to healing, guiding us toward the concept of psychological depth. an ever-growing ledger tallying the soul's neglected truth. Awareness emerges as the dawn breaking upon this cycle, the first step towards emancipation. Here, Jung's wisdom beckons. Bring the unconscious into the light of day. In gentle contemplation, acknowledge these emotions not with judgment, but as sacred messengers guiding us back to alignment. Acceptance then blooms like a rare flower, transforming passive surrender into active growth. Guilt and shame become unlikely allies, drawing attention to the dissonance between our acts and inner values, urging introspection and narrative reclamation. As alchemists of our emotional realm, we possess the power to transform these feelings from leaden burdens into golden opportunities for growth. Embrace the tools of shadow work, where these emotions are bravely integrated, weakening their grip on our psyche. This alchemy calls for courage and grace, nurturing resilience and emotional wisdom. Such transformation marks a delicate dance towards personal evolution. Just as Jung taught the necessity of reconciling opposites, integrating guilt and shame bridges the chasm within. This journey from judgment to gentle curiosity deepens our self-connection, laying the groundwork for emotional mastery and self-authorship. As we cultivate inner authority, a shift occurs from the chains of external obedience to the liberty of intrinsic guidance. This journey requires listening deeply to one's inner convictions, elevating them above societal dictates. Guiding oneself becomes an act of faith in intuition, a homecoming to innate wisdom. The essence of individuation, as Jung would term it, is realized here. Strengthen this inner compass through reflection, intention, and trust in personal decisions. This is no rebellion but a kinship with the authentic self. Rituals then become sanctuaries for release, allowing us to shed the weight of external validation. Through the arts of journaling, meditation, and mindfulness, we hone the art of witnessing thoughts without drowning in them, gently loosening the grip of others' affirmations. As we let go of external measures of worth, we embrace a profound self-validation. The inward path reveals an inherent value, untouched by the judgments of others. It is here that inner harvest flourishes, nurtured by acceptance, birthing true liberation. In everyday life, through conscious living, we cement this self-worth, choosing authenticity in actions and words, transcending superficial norms. Environments and relationships become mirrors for our journey, reflecting and respecting our authentic selves. By seeking bonds that honour personal truths, we fortify a network of growth and discovery. The voyage towards emotional freedom is both relentless and uniquely personal. It demands patience and compassion, transforming discomfort into the alchemy of growth. Recognize self-worth as an intrinsic grace, unshackled from validation, steeped in inner harmony and acceptance. Through this odyssey, we find not only relief from guilt and shame, but a profound wholeness and empowerment. As these truths settle into heart and mind, they offer peace beyond the constraints of societal obedience, inviting listeners into a sanctuary of genuine self-discovery. In the quiet recesses of the soul lies a compass, a tranquil guide obscured by the clamour of external demands and the relentless pulse of societal norms. This is the inner authority, a silent voice that whispers truths shaped by personal wisdom and intuition. Yet in the cacophony of expectations and the need to adhere, this voice often becomes muted. To reclaim it is to embark on a courageous journey away from the automated responses of daily life, to walk deliberately towards the vibrant light of authenticity. This journey towards understanding begins in a sanctuary of stillness, where one can disconnect from the fervent noise of the outside world. It beckons us to observe the spaces within, where power has been ceded to the judgments of others, and to fear-laden beliefs that have taken root in our minds. This path is a homecoming, an act not of rebellion, but of gentle realignment. Decisions born from this sacred space are not mere reactions, but are expressions of values held deep within, gently coaxed into the light. True courage here is not the absence of fear, but the decision to listen intently to a voice that remains persistent, patient, and ever ready to guide. However, fear often stands as a guardian to this inner realm, masquerading in the guise of pragmatism or a supposed loyalty to what one has known. It warns us of the perils of stepping into true power, urging conformity and survival over flourishing and liberation. The primal echo of acceptance that fear sings keeps us seemingly safe, but shackled to antiquated patterns that beg for renewal. To reclaim our authority, we must converse with these fears, unravel their origins, the protective armours they offer against perceived dangers. In embracing our fears with empathy rather than scorn, we strip away their power, understanding them not as obstacles but as companions in our growth. As we tread this path of reclamation, we discover it is as much about unlearning as it is about learning. Conditioned layers build upon our essence, like sediment pressing down on a vibrant spring. These layers, born of inherited narratives and unquestioned scripts, often deter our journey towards an autonomous self. Unlearning is the patient, persistent peeling away of these layers, examining their worth and discarding those that no longer resonate with our true selves. In this intimate introspection, listening becomes an art, an active engagement with the self. The world hums with constant input, and carving a quiet corner where one can engage in internal dialogue becomes a profound act of self-preservation. Here the soul's whispers grow audible. In silence, self-revelations emerge like gentle dawns, allowing us to face unsettling truths with an open heart. Vulnerability in this process is not a weakness, but a doorway to a deeper well of authentic power. Embracing it allows us to step into a fuller existence, connected to our humanity in both frailty and strength. As we listen, cultivating self-trust becomes crucial. It is the bedrock upon which authority stands. In a dance of trust, each decision, no matter how small, aligns with our truest values, weaving a tapestry of integrity. Mistakes transform into opportunities for deeper learning, teaching us not perfection, but persistence in our authenticity. As self-trust strengthens, the inner voice grows resolute, informed by wisdom and unwavering assurance against the tumult of external chaos. Dialogue within, too, becomes vital. Engaging with the diverse facets of our being, fears, dreams, strengths, and shadows, is a bridge to deeper self-governance. This conversation, rich with kindness and curiosity, peels away veneers to reveal suppressed truths, inviting a more intimate connection with our inherent wisdom. Every insight gleaned becomes a stepping stone towards embracing sovereignty. Amidst this evolving dance with self, compassion shines as a tender ally, embracing our imperfections and nurturing our soul's growth. It propels us courageously along our path, diffusing the harsh edge of self-criticism with gentle understanding. In self-compassion's embrace, vulnerabilities transform from burdens to strengths, solidifying the foundation of our authority. To embody this authority, alignment of actions with our deepest truths becomes crucial. transforming abstract ideals into lived realities. Each action that resonates with our core values reflects our enduring commitment to authenticity. It is a journey that compels us to face choices that may defy expectation, but bring peace and harmony within. As we act in congruence with our inner truth, our lives become woven into an intricate tapestry of integrity. Living authentically demands ongoing courage, a perpetual voyage of growth and self-discovery. Its rewards manifest in profound inner peace and fulfillment, with each moment and decision crafting a legacy of wholeness. Through this journey, we inspire others to reclaim their authority, envisioning worlds where authenticity and personal truth are celebrated and revered like cherished heirlooms of the soul. In a world filled with endless demands and swirling chaos, boundaries emerge not as barriers, but as sacred threads weaving us into the fabric of our true selves. They whisper the essence of who we are amidst the clamour, delineating the spaces our hearts and minds know as sanctuaries. Rather than shutting others out, these invisible lines welcome a deeper connection with our soul's authenticity. They articulate the delicate dance between self-awareness and respect, visiting as quiet guardians of our needs and desires. Boundaries then become the gentle bearers of self-love, illuminating the path to maintaining our own well-being amidst the ever-shifting tides of life. Jungian thought reverberates within this space of individuation, where each boundary gently nudges us closer to self-actualization. Without these sacred lines, the myriad roles we are asked to play threaten to fragment our essence. In defiantly drawing boundaries, we declare our commitment to preserving our inner landscapes, ensuring that our deeper desires do not wither in the shadow of external expectations. Here lies a sanctuary of self-trust, where declaring our worth invites authenticity to blossom in the fertile ground of our soul. At the heart of boundaries lies the sacred act of consent, a quiet acknowledgement of our sovereignty. It beckons us to listen closely to the murmurings of our innermost truths and respond with clarity. Consent, far beyond a simple affirmation, weaves through every choice, setting the rhythm for how we embrace life's dance. This dialogue we have with ourselves is not just about saying yes or no. It is a testament to the wisdom of knowing what truly aligns with our intrinsic nature. It is through this gentle empowerment that we teach others the art of respectful engagement, nurturing a shared culture of trust and understanding. Our bodies speak in hushed tones of wisdom when boundaries are endangered. The heart might race, the head may throb, gentle signs that we're tiptoeing across the landscapes of our true selves. These manifestations, aches, fatigue, unease, are not interruptions, but rather the body's intimate call for attention, signalling when we've moved away from our sacred centre. To heed these messages is to practice a profound form of compassion for oneself, where the body's signals are lovingly attended to as sacred guides urging us toward alignment and balance. Through the act of boundary setting, we are artists painting the contours of our identity. These lines, though unseen, are instrumental in crafting the dynamic mosaic of who we are. They become the reflections of our values and beliefs, safeguarding the vibrancy of our individuality against the hue of external influence. In setting such boundaries, we sculpt an identity resonating with authenticity, gently asserting our needs and dreams. Yet this identity dances between the realms of inner conviction and outward expression. Boundaries become the bridges to self-authorship, where our stories are written in integrity and grace amidst the tides of change. Emotional triggers, inevitable visitors along our path, find refuge in the safe havens provided by boundaries, when wounds of the past stir, offering moments ripe for reflection. Boundaries cushion us from emotional tempests, inviting introspection without chaos. Within their embrace we find clarity, transforming pain into an opportunity for healing. It is within these safe spaces that emotions are invited to be understood, revealing the tender areas needing care. Responding from this sanctuary of awareness, we embrace our vulnerabilities as teachers, guiding us to refine our emotional mastery and resilience. In silence, the world pauses, and boundaries become sublime in their simplicity. Here, amidst stillness, the cacophony of outer influences quiets, allowing us to hear the whispers of our soul. Silence becomes a sacred retreat, a boundary that not only protects but also nurtures our inner landscapes. It carves out the time to untangle the clutter, inviting presence to flourish and clarity to blossom. Engaging in this silence is to embrace a deep communion with self, where authenticity and peace reside not in resistance, but in the quiet fortitude of withdrawal. Boundaries, ever evolving, stand as rites of passage, each one a milestone marking our path to emotional maturity and self-realization. Just as lifelines evolve, adjusting with our growth and insights, so too do our boundaries. They beckon us to transcend fears, embracing worthiness as we step into a fuller expression of self. They are beacons guiding us through the darkness of uncertainty, illuminating the path toward a life lived with purpose and truth. In relationships, boundaries unveil the contours of authentic connection. These gentle lines form mutual agreements, fostering intimacy built on respect and understanding. Through them, we invite openness and trust, preventing entanglement in the web of unmet expectations. By honouring both our needs and those of others, we cultivate a garden where connection thrives amidst a delicate balance of autonomy and togetherness. Ultimately, boundaries lead us on a journey of letting go, encouraging freedom and liberation. We unshackle ourselves from the weight of others' judgments, choosing instead to live in harmony with our essence. As we release the attachments no longer serving our soul's journey, we embrace the fluidity of life, discovering the beauty of living with intention under the vast canopy of possibility. Here, within the art of letting go, we find liberation, an invitation to navigate life's mystery with courage and grace, crafting a world reflective of our deepest aspirations. Rebuilding the relationship with oneself is akin to walking through a lush, ancient forest where the whispers of forgotten trees invite us into a dance of self-discovery. Within the depths of this quiet place, the inner dialogue begins to unfurl like a delicate tapestry. Here we find a convergence of voices, some gentle, others demanding, each one weaving tales shaped by the world outside and the shadows within. Listening to these whispers requires us to set aside the noise of daily life, allowing a sacred space for introspection to be born. It is in this stillness, like a soft clearing in the forest, where the heart reveals its truths and the subconscious shares its secrets. Journaling becomes the pen that etches these confessions onto parchment, sketching a map back to the soul's essence. The journey inward is both an expedition and a homecoming, guiding us through the wilderness of self with patience as our companion. In the heart of this forest, where old leaves crackle underfoot, vulnerability emerges as a tender moment between the trees. It is a gentle breeze that brushes against us, urging us to release the pretenses we wear and embrace the raw, unguarded self beneath. Often perceived as a fragile state, vulnerability in truth holds the seed of resilience. It is the mirror reflecting our humanity back to us, making us aware of the strength found within our openness. Walls once erected for protection crumble as we choose to meet our true selves with compassion, paving a path that leads away from isolation towards connection. Here, with vulnerability guiding us, we step away from superficial perfection and stride, barefoot and free, toward the authenticity blooming in the cracks of our existence. As the canopy of trees parts, illuminating the way forward, the practice of radical self-honesty reveals itself as a necessary companion. This journey demands we strip away illusions, uncovering the layers that shield our deepest truths. Honesty is the lantern that guides us through this inner landscape, asserting its presence in the face of discomfort. Through its unwavering light, we are called to examine our choices, to decipher if they align with our core essence or are merely shadows of another's design. The courage to see oneself clearly, without the veil of societal or self-imposed expectations, transforms this path of honesty into one of liberation and empowerment. Yet as the forest turns to fields of wildflowers, the art of self-validation emerges, each petal an acknowledgement of our worth, irrespective of external affirmation. In a world teeming with judgment, recognizing our own value is an act of defiance and self-love. We learn to listen to our emotions, understanding them as part of the intricate dance of human experience. This validation nurtures a landscape where our spirit can flourish, bolstered by the unwavering confidence of self-belief, and strengthens our emotional intelligence to engage with life from a place of genuine authenticity. This self-exploration requires a pledge, a commitment carved as steadily as rivers etch their courses through mountains. Prioritizing our own well-being becomes a sacred duty, guarding our boundaries with reverence and ensuring their alignment with our inner truth. This steadfast devotion reinforces our sense of identity against external pressures. Saying no to what does not serve us, and yes to what nourishes our souls, creates a rhythm where each heartbeat dances in harmony with our deepest values. In this journey through the corridors of our being, forgiveness emerges like a gentle rain, rinsing away the dust of resentment and self-condemnation. It is not a fleeting absolution, but a profound release from burdens that weigh down the path forward. By forgiving ourselves, we open doors to transformation, acknowledging our imperfections with empathy and grace. This act breathes life into the realms of our history, inviting healing and allowing love to mend the tear-streaked fabric of our spirit. Rituals become milestones on this journey, sacred acts echoing our dedication to self-discovery. They are our oaths to the universe, carved in actions rather than words, whether they manifest as quiet meditations at dawn or celebratory dances under the moonlight. These gestures anchor our intentions and remind us of the commitment made to our authentic self. In time, as we walk the path forged from inner alchemy, we undertake the act of reinvention, allowing new possibilities to blossom where old narratives once wilted. Like a phoenix rising, this transformation is not about erasing who we have been, but about crafting a renewed identity from the ashes of what no longer serves us. With each step in this direction, change becomes not a daunting unknown, but a canvas where our true essence paints its masterpiece. Compassionate witnessing forms the gentle stream beside this path, its waters clear and welcoming. It asks us to perceive our journey with the same empathy afforded to a dear friend. By observing without judgment, we become students of our spirit, learning to embrace our vast inner world in its entirety. As the sun casts its golden embrace upon us, we arrive at a place where contradictions coexist, and emotional chaos finds its transformation into clarity and peace. Through the alchemy of self-discovery, we come home to a self both familiar and new, a testament to the enduring bond that guides us ever onward toward the horizon where the soul meets its infinite sky. In the gentle dance of life, the quest for harmony often takes centre stage, leading us to curtail our truths for the sake of peace. Yet, beneath this serene facade, a deeper yearning stirs, one that beckons us toward the heart of our being. Carl Jung spoke of the profound journey toward wholeness, a journey that invites each of us to embrace our entire psychological landscape. This path asks for courage, for it means stepping away from the surface peace that comes from fitting in, to unveil the radiant tapestry of our authentic selves. True wholeness emerges not from weaving a seamless unity among our fragmented parts, but from lovingly accepting the complexity within. It calls on us to face the many facets of our psyche, even those we prefer to shroud in shadows. Jungian thought urges us to trade the alluring yet shallow comfort of conformity for the deeper, more challenging pursuit of personal integration. It's a surrender of profound bravery, a choice to fully express who we are, even if it disturbs the gentle rhythms around us. This transformative process allows us to live with greater emotional clarity and self-understanding, guiding us toward a richer existence. Harmony, so often idealized, can deceive us with its promise of eternal tranquility. It tempts us into silencing the authentic voice within to maintain a false calm. But in truth, the perpetual pursuit of external peace can stifle our genuine essence, leading to inner disquiet and quiet resentment. The pursuit of harmony is not inherently wrong. It becomes so when it demands the sacrifice of our authenticity. By redefining harmony, we can view it not as complete uniformity, but as a dynamic balance that honours our true complexity. Jung's idea of the shadow, the hidden, often denied parts of ourselves, holds the keys to profound transformation. By confronting these shadows, we embark on a journey toward wholeness, reclaiming pieces of ourselves long lost in the depths of denial. While facing these shadows may stir discomfort, it's within this courageous introspection that we find an opportunity for integration, where our light and dark sides meld, leading us toward a more genuine sense of self. Comfort, the siren song of modern existence, often masquerades as success, yet it can trap us within the confines of complacency, hindering true growth. Choosing comfort over authenticity offers fleeting relief but sows seeds of long-term dissatisfaction. Jung encourages us to question this allure and see that avoiding discomfort might mean denying our potential for fulfillment and clarity. Choosing authenticity over comfort requires vulnerability, exposing our deepest selves to uncertainty. But beyond the comfort zone lies a realm rich with transformative experiences, validating our authentic desires. This path may be challenging, but it rewards us with alignment with our innermost values, guiding us to a life that resonates more deeply with our truest selves. Integration, in the Jungian sense, involves unifying the conscious with the unconscious. In this merging, we find a deeper harmony, a realm where our conflicting parts can coexist, fostering self-awareness and stability. We stand grounded in our truth, our identity no longer fragmented by external expectations. Our personal narrative flourishes, creating a meaningful life upon this integrated foundation. In this state, Internal tensions become opportunities for insight, enriched by the beauty of our complex selves. Navigating the tensions that arise when inner truth meets external demands is a natural, necessary part of choosing wholeness. These tensions point us toward growth, requiring emotional intelligence to approach with curiosity rather than avoidance. Conflict enriches our understanding, enhancing our response to life's vast complexities. Through openness and acceptance, we discover that life's contradictions needn't threaten our integrity. Instead, they invite us to dance with the shadow of existence, respecting life's intricate dance without losing our essence. Emotional clarity emerges from understanding our inner landscape. Engaging in practices such as reflective journaling or meditation helps us peel away societal layers, guiding us to our authentic core. This self-inquiry unveils the narratives that steer our emotions, enriching our interactions, and aligning our actions with genuine desires. As we unravel these emotional patterns, we connect more profoundly with ourselves and others, standing firm in empathy and authenticity. Choosing wholeness is an art that requires self-compassion, continually tuning into our inner voice and aligning actions with deep truths despite societal pressures to conform. This lifelong path redefines success not by external standards, but by our fidelity to authenticity. It asks us to embrace discomfort and maintain faith in transformation, each choice fortifying our inner resolve and leading to a more fulfilling existence. As we journey from the chaos toward clarity, embracing our complexity and living true to the soul's call, we forge a life both authentic and resilient. The pursuit of wholeness teaches that life isn't about avoiding discomfort, but embracing our fullness. Through this exploration, we find deeper connections and a meaningful engagement with life. In choosing wholeness over harmony, our path unfolds, inviting all who seek such depth to continue along their own sacred journeys. If this journey moves you, subscribe for more explorations of the soul's terrain.